Alright, today we're going to talk about how to adjust your hinges and your compression on wood doors. Not every door has the same amount of hinges. In this case, we have 1, 2, 3, 4 hinges. The hinge second from the top will always be your height adjustment. Since the entire weight of the door is going to be resting on that one screw, what you want to do is actually de-weight the door a little bit if you can, so that way you don't strip the screw. In this case, I've got a couple of airbags. I'm just going to put these down in here. And depending on your situation, you know, maybe a wedge could work. We're going to loosen up the clamping screws, which is right here. So if you look here, you have an adjustment screw. That's going to be the adjustment for the height. The screws directly above and below that are your clamping screws that hold it in place. So we need to loosen those two up. And since we're going to be adjusting the height, we have to loosen the clamping screws on all of the hinges. So now we come back to our adjustment screw, which is going to be the middle screw in this series of 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 screws here. So going to the middle one. And if you come over here and you're looking in at the hinge, you'll see there's like 3 little bars in there, just right in there. And you'll see that there's this marker right here. That's going to be an indicator so you can tell if you're moving up or down. So right now we're dropping down. You can see the movement. The entire door can move up and down. So we get it where we want it. And once we've got that, then you go ahead and retighten your clamping screw. So that's for the height adjustment. If you want to adjust your compression, it's the same thing, but on the other hinges. So our adjustment screw, again, it's going to be the middle screw, and you have to loosen up your clamping screws above and below it, which we already did. So I'm going to go ahead and adjust my screw here, and you can see the amount of compression that you're going to get here. So if we can move the hinge out, or we can bring it in close. We'll stay right about here. Once we get it in the place we like, you go ahead and tighten your clamping screws. And then you come down and you do the bottom one. The very bottom one, it's the same thing. The adjustment screws in the middle. You have to loosen the top and bottom one, clamping screws, which we already did. So now I'm going to bring in the hinge just a little bit. I like it right about there. If you have more than 3 hinges, then the other hinges are what we call dummy hinges. They actually don't have adjustments in them. What they do is they just go to the midpoint between the other 2 hinges. So at that point, you just tighten it down because there's no adjustment that can be made. I don't know if you can see in there, but if you looked inside there, there's a spot where a screw would be, but there's not really a screw in there. Now, to check for your tightness on your door, the compression, what happens is that when you turn your thumb turn it a good 2 turns, and you get these hooks that come out. Everywhere there's one of those hooks on your door, on your frame, you will actually have a receiver for those hooks. So the way to adjust the compression of the door is to actually adjust the receivers for where those hooks are going to interact with. So you can, with a T15, it says T15 on there, you can either make it so that the receiver goes towards the exterior or towards the interior, just a little bit. You can adjust the top and bottom of each one of these. I recommend only adjusting them one at a time. Close the door, try your lock systems, and then come back and make further adjustments if you need them. That way you're not getting yourself lost in trying to figure out which one of these adjustments that you need to go back and fix. If you need to adjust the latch on the door so that when you close it, it's actually latching, it's just these little Phillips screws right here. You loosen those Phillips screws, and then this latch mechanism can move towards the interior or towards the exterior, so that way you don't have extra play in your door. So let's go ahead and close this guy. So there's no extra play there, so we're good with the latch part of it. Now don't forget, you need to keep track of where your thumb turn starts. So if we're here, there's half a turn, one full turn. After one full turn, your door is actually officially locked. But to get the door to have an air seal, you need to turn twice. So that's 1, 1.5, and 2. At that point, your hook mechanisms are engaging with the receivers that are in the jamb of the door, and it's causing them to compress, causing your sash to compress tighter to the frame. If you have any air leaks happening on this side of your door, then you need to adjust the receivers on that side of the door. Put your fingers on the sash and the frame at the same time, and as you tighten the door to compress it, you should feel the movement of the door. That's actually causing it to compress. You should actually feel a little bit of compression. If you don't, then you may not be getting compression. So you need to go through and adjust your receivers so that you actually get more compression. If you need more compression, then you need to move your receiver further towards the exterior so that when the door hooks engage with it, they're actually pulling tighter. Let's try it again. So, I'm going to put my fingers on the frame and the sash at the same time. I'm going to rotate the thumb turn. There's half, 1, 1.5, and 2. And I am starting to feel a little bit more compression up here, which means now it's actually sealing up tightly.